Let me test one thing out here before I tweet this out. Got some frames here probably. Hey, is that still working? Hey, I think that's a little bit better. Just for the brightness. So let me hop over to here right now. I should have my link down here. Alright, last thing to do, retweet that from my other account. As I'm doing that, retweet. Okay. But there might have been a cat jumping on something, but not the case. Welcome back for another episode. Another stream of Dungeons and Dragons character creation for Convergence. Let's see, we just did a halfling. We've done a dwarf, elf, halfling, and human thus far. Let's go with a dragonborn. Dragonborn, name suggests, part dragon. Cannot type. Dragonborn. One word. Born. So, they do have a breath weapon for dragonborns. So, we're going to pick... nah. Not copper. Let's go silver. Silver Dragonborn. Breath weapon is cold based. It's not fire based. I could have gone with gold, which is fire based, but didn't want to. Decided against it. Let's see. Strength score. Add a +2 to whatever we put in there. Charisma. It's a +1. Age doesn't really matter. Oh, cool. They apparently reach adulthood at about 15. Can live to be 80 or so. Speed, 30 feet. Standard walking speed. Proficiency bonus +2 as always. Draconic ancestry. So we've already determined that they have silver draconic ancestry. Breath weapon. Once per short long rest. Then we'll do let's see, cold. So this is a con save. We'll go to damage resistance. Hold. I don't know if I spelled resistance right. We're actually gonna hit the languages now here. Draconic and common. But we're gonna fill in our stats since for the saving throw, the con save up here, we need to know our stats, and then we can adjust the stuff accordingly. Put in the damage types, figure out what we want to do with this guy. We could go Paladin here, actually. Let's go Paladin. So Paladin, we're going to want strength fairly high, as well as charisma. So 16 and 16. 12, 13, 8. Let's go 10, 8. I feel like a Paladin potentially would have a lower wisdom score, just because maybe they've spent a lot of time in book learning, maybe it's been a lot of time elsewhere, but it just seems like it could be something that'd be the case. That's pretty good overall. Plus 7 is very good. So now that we know that, we can calculate out the con saving throw. 8 plus your constitution modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So con save DC 11. Not great. Deals 2d6 cold damage, and I believe half on a save. Or half on a save. It's a cool little thing, gives them a little bit of extra oomph, kind of. So we have that. Let's flip over to Paladin now. This book is falling apart so badly. I'm gonna have to replace it sooner than I wanted to, but creating a Paladin. Paladin, Oath of Devotion, Oath of Ancients, Oath of Vengeance. We're going to go Oath of Devotion. There, that makes sense. Well enough. So what I was just talking about there with the Oath of Devotion, Ancients, or Vengeance are like how with basically every other class you have like 2 or 3 different options that kind of diversify yourself in that class. So that's what this is doing. I just filled it in when I was up here already, but we can do the hit dice now. 3 total hit dice and d10. Hit points, max hit points are going to be 10 plus 1, so 11, and then 14 more. 35. That's not bad at all. We can do our plus 1 to initiative there. Saving throws. Oh. Proficiencies first. All armor, shields, weapons. So we have wisdom and charisma. Interesting. So that gives us a plus 3, plus 1, plus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 5. They have to make a charisma saving throw for any reason. They're gonna be damn good. For our skills, we can choose from, should not put my hands up that high apparently, we can choose from athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, and religion. Persuasion and medicine. Like, persuasion's going to just be super useful generally in a game. I'm not sure how useful it will be in the con game that I'm running, but if they're going to talk to some people, they can definitely try and use it to get information, stuff like that. And we have some equipment. sword, shield, or I could do 2 martial weapons, but I want 1. I like the idea of having a shield, simple melee weapon, short sword, I think is simple. Let's flip back and find out. I feel so bad for this book. It just means it's well loved. Okay, so that's not a simple. Just gonna go with. Just gonna go. Is based off of Dex. We'll go with light hammer instead. Light hammer is fun. And Explorer's Pack, Chainmail, Holy, Chainmail is 2 words, Holy Symbol. So that gives us a little bit to go off of here. This could kind of be fun, actually. Divine Sense. The presence of strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect these forces. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you. And you know the type. So it's 4 uses, short or long rest. Kind of fun. Yeah, it basically allows you to figure out if there's anything crazy going on. Lay on hands. As an action, you have a pool of power, healing power, that replenishes when you take a long rest. As an action, you can cure 15 wounds or 15 damage or less. For a long rest, you choose amount to heal at a time. So you can do 5 damage, heal 5 hit points to yourself and 10 to the rogue. You can split up between multiple people. You can give 1 hit point to 15 different creatures. That'd be kind of silly, but really handy ability. At level 2, we get a fighting style and protection. When a creature you see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet of you, use reaction to impose disadvantage. Must be wearing shield. So we did a fighting style for our fighter. The Paladin also gets fighting styles, but fewer options to choose from. And I think the fighter gets to add fighting styles at higher levels, whereas I don't believe that the Paladin does. So we have that in place. Spellcasting! Huzzah, huzzah. Spellcasting is our charisma. Charisma. Spell save DC 8 plus proficiency, so 10 plus charisma 13. Sorry, my fingernail bugging me. Attack bonus is plus 5. Really handy. We're gonna come back and add the spells. So as compared to, I think it was the druid that had a certain number of spells that it can know based off of skills, a paladin only knows a particular number of spells. A paladin will know, let me double check this in here. Choose the number of paladin spells equal to your charisma modifier plus half your paladin level. Rounded down. So we know 4 spells. We have 3 slots. We know 4 spells, so 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll fill those in shortly here. And so that's set. With that, paladins also get another fun ability here. Let's zoom in so we can all read this. Yeah, that's good. Here we are. Divine Smite. Spend a spell slot on an attack to deal 2d8 extra damage. Can spend after starting second level. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can expend 1 paladin spell slot. Not on an attack, on a hit. Plus 1d8 versus undead / fiend. So that one's a fun one. So Paladin allows you to kind of play a fighter. If you don't want to be a healer, which is kind of what the Paladin can do as a secondary job, just spend your spells on Divine Smite, especially on critical hits. You'd be doing 1d8 normally with your longsword, so you'd be doing 3d8, doubling that number, then adding your modifier to it. So you can do a ton of damage that way. And finally, Divine Health. Immune to disease. But we finally also get to add in our Oath of Devotion. Oath of Devotion binds a paladin to the loftiest ideals of justice, virtue, and order. The tenets are honesty, courage, compassion, honor, and duty. And we'll actually go to the second page here, this section again, to just fill in the information as needed over here. So we have our Channel Divinity. That's not even close. Divinity. Sacred Weapon. As an action, you imbue 1 weapon with positive energy for 1 minute. This is very cool. add your charisma modifier to attack rolls made with weapon. The weapon emits a bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light around that. Weapon becomes magical. And finally, what is the last one? Emits light in a 40-foot radius. I could do the whole 20-foot breakdown, but that's just kind of overkill for this. Sacred weapon. There we are. Or turn the unholy. As an action, you present your holy symbol and prayer. Creatures, let's see, fiend or undead in 30 feet of you must make wisdom saving throw, or spend the next minute trying to move as far away from you as it can, and you can't take reaction, and actions must be dash. There. So that is kind of really cool. Let's go back to our spell sheet. We have 3 slots. So paladins are not meant to get cantrips. They, if you do an elf paladin, they very well might, but paladin's magic is less about the paladin doing magical stuff, and yeah, they're not built to be like the super spellcaster Healy one. That it would be the that would be the cleric. Bless, super good, up to 3 creatures can use an extra D4 on attacks and saving throws and stuff like that. Very handy. Cure wounds makes a lot of sense. I like Searing Smite. Searing Smite allows you to do extra fire damage. Heroism. No, not heroism. Let's do... What does protection from good and evil do? Like, I'm assuming it does basically what it says, but how? Is it worth giving somebody in a game when they can't choose exactly what they want? So let's see, protection from good and evil. Protection from energy, protection, project image, protection from good and evil. 1 action, touch, concentration for up to 10 minutes. Until spell ends, 1 willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Protection grants several benefits. Creatures of these types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on saving throws. Yeah, let's do that. I'm kind of tipping my hand a little bit there by saying that's going to be useful, which means you're likely to run across something that's on that list. But if the player doesn't want that, it's definitely not something that they have to use. Definitely an optional thing. So finally, we have our background. Oop, wrong thing. Zoom in some more for me, buddy. There we are. Our backgrounds. I could see this character being an acolyte. You spent your life in service to a temple of a specific deity. We get insight, which is great. Not a great one to get it. And religion's intelligence based. Not terrible. It gives us +2 there compared to a 0. So not bad. 2 languages of your choice. Celestial and Elven. Celestial is what they would consider a rare language, so it's a little bit weird to put in there, but it's something different, and it's a really cool effect when you combine it with those channel divinities. Like, now you're praying in Celestial when you use the one channel divinity. See. Equipment, you have a holy symbol. We already have a holy symbol. Prayer book. It says prayer book or wheel. I'm just going to go book. 5 sticks of incense. Vestments. Set of common clothes. And belt pouch, in which there are 15 gold pieces. You also have shelter of the faithful. You'll see a common theme in a lot of these background traits, how that they allow you to find food and shelter, basically what they're for. You command a temple of your deity, you can get food and shelter. Ta-da! Background. Acolyte. I'm not gonna really pick a deity for them. I could. It's largely irrelevant in a game like this. So now let's flip back and knock out the equipment numbers. So chainmail is a straight 16 plus a shield is a straight 18 in terms of armor class. Super well defended. Pretty tough with 35. Wait, that's not right. 11 plus 14 is 25. Got it. So we have in here a long sword. Attack bonuses are strength +3. Oh, nope. That's weird. No, come back here. +5. Longsword is 1d8 +3. If I'm not mistaken, longsword. 1d8 +3. 1d8 +3. And that's slashing damage. Now we're going to go longsword 2. Why you can use it two-handed? It's 1d10 +3 slashing, and then we have our light hammer. Again, +5, 1d4 +3 bludgeoning, and we're going to continue down here. Light hammer thrown, +5, 1d4 +3 bludgeoning, range 20 to 60 feet. There, we have our Paladin with an Oath of Devotion who is a Dragonborn. Let's save this. Add commands, there we are. Save as. So, Paladin, Acolyte. As you can see, Dragonborn, really good Paladins. Let's actually hop up here. Druid Guild Artisan, close that. We're going to close this. Ta-da! That's nice. I don't have the one I'm looking for sitting right there, so we open this up again. And zoom in. Let's continue. Let's do another one. You can get through a bunch of these. So we are on to. We're gonna have a gnome. I don't think we've done a gnome before. A gnome. Gnomes. All gnomes, I would kind of put in that little tinkery sort of thing. They have +2 to intelligence. All of them. Base walking speed, like the halfling, slower, 25 feet. Dark vision of 60 feet. Gnome cunning. Advantage on Wiz, Int, Cha, saving throws versus magic. That's actually really handy, even if, like, because we can pick something that potentially gives us a strength and con, or dex and con, or dex and strength, or yeah, strength and con saving throw, and we'll still have advantage on these three fairly often. So let's see, languages. Oh, I forgot to do the passive perception. It's not super hard to calculate out, so I don't feel too bad. Common and gnomish. Makes sense. And we have two subtypes. We have the forest gnome and the rock gnome. I'm going to go with the rock gnome. I think it would be a fun one to do. Rock gnome, you have natural inventiveness and hardiness beyond that of other gnomes. Let's see. So as you see, it gives us a +1 to Constitution. That's kind of nice too. It allows us a little more room to play. And it gives us Artificer's Lore. You get double proficiency bonus when making history checks related to magic items, alchemical objects, or what is it? Technological devices. That's cool. That would be really fun to play in a accidental time travel game if they move to the future, or even for if someone comes back to the past sort of thing. Like, what's this thing lying around? You have proficiency when using artisan's tools, tinkerer's tools. Using these tools, you can spend 1 hour and 10 gold pieces of materials to construct tiny clockwork devices, AC 5, 1 hit point. The device ceases to function after 24 hours unless you spend 1 hour repairing it and keeping it functioning, or when you use an action to dismantle it. At that time, you can reclaim the materials used to recreate it. You can have up to 3 such devices active at one time. When you create a device, choose one of the following options: a clockwork toy, a fire starter, or a music box. Tinker. We'll go down here too, so we have Tinker's tools. And spend 1 hour and 10 GP of materials to create a clockwork device that lasts for 24 hours unless you spend 1 hour per day on upkeep. Now, I wouldn't have it require another 10 gold pieces. If you're just fiddling with it to keep it running, it shouldn't require anything like that. So there we go. We have our Tinkerer. The question is, what class do we want to make our Tinkerer? What makes sense for a rock gnome with some tinkering abilities to be? I know which one I think I'm going towards. I want to do it rogue. But that doesn't make a ton of sense in terms of intelligence. Dex and intelligence, they say, so let's do that. Put the 15 here. Take this to 16. Take this to 14. 12, 10, 8. Not strong. Not strong is a fun one to play on. It can make for interesting moments and stuff like that. So yeah, gnome. Let's just do rock gnome. Easier that way. Rogue. Finding the rogue in here. There's Paladin, so it must be close. Ranger. I could do the hunter archetype for the ranger. I might come back and do that. Rogue. The rogue has some really just jacked up abilities. Let's put it that way. Rogue assassin with the tinkerer's ability, that seems like fun. That seems like it'd be really messed up. So we have a +2 for this. So we have a total of 3. It's D8 for hit dice for them. So 8 + 2, we have 10. And then 5 + 2, 14. 14 + 10 is 24. Not bad at all. I think I might have messed up the... oh no, the Paladin, but he only had a +1 there. So never mind. I was right. 24 starting hit points. We have some proficiencies. Light armor. Simple weapons. Hand crossbows. Not light swords. Long sword. Rapiers. And short sword. Also proficient in thieves' tools. Handy if you have to pick locks. stuff like that. Dexterity and intelligence are the ones we get the advantage on. Means that we have a -1 for our strength, but a +4, +5 to go along with +2, 0, and a +1 is pretty good, pretty dang good. So if we just do the math on this one, we're still at a 7. I think it probably ends up being about a +7 on your abilities, showing off why you're better than everyone else. And get to choose 4 skills that we're proficient in. Acrobatics would be great. Investigation, deception, I'm not going to read all of them off, and stealth. That sounds like an assassin to me. Now starts to come the really broken stuff. At first level, choose 2 of your skill proficiencies, or 1 of your skill proficiencies and your proficiency with thieves' tools. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability checks that use either of these chosen proficiencies. So this would normally be a +4. I can make it a +6. But I want to do here, make this a +5. And then this one, investigation as well, make that a ridiculous +7. That is absurd. Sorry, airplane in the background there. This one just then maintains itself as a +2, as does this. Those two are nuts. This +7 is insane. I mean, other intelligence-based ones get a +3 naturally, so that's not too bad. Sneak attack. This is where rogues really make their killing. And all their killings. At the beginning at first level, you know how to strike subtly and exploit a foe's distraction. Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack if you have an advantage on the attack roll. The attack must use a finesse or ranged weapon. You don't need advantage on attack rolls if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it. If that enemy is incapacitated and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. The amount of extra damage increases as you gain levels, as shown on the sneak attack column on the rogues table. So sneak attack, deal extra. At level 3, it is 2d6. 2d6 damage on that. Attacks with advantage, or when your enemy is engaged with how do I want to put this? Engaged with a party member within 5 feet. That is really powerful, and it scales. So like Urkinakal in Dungeons and Dragons, as a guest, was doing, I think, 3d6 extra damage. It was, and critted it, so he rolled 66 plus a little more, which is really dang impressive. We're going to add this to our languages here, and thieves can't. Basically, you know, a secret language of thieves. So we have that. And now at second level, you get a really nice thing. Cunning action. Can, let's see. What is it? Dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action. Everybody can do those things as an action. However, you can do it as a bonus action. Sorry about the Nerdologist thing. That is definitely in the way right now. There we are. Got a little bit better. I'm not sure where to put it currently. I need to figure out how to tweak the layout a little bit more, and then I'll be happier with it. While we're down here, let's do weapons and everything. Rapier, short sword. I like rapier better. Short bow, quiver of 20 arrows, or short sword. Short sword. Burglar's pack, Dungeoneer's pack, or an Explorer's pack. Burglar's pack. And then leather, armor, 2 daggers, thieves' tools. Really kitted out right there for what they want to do. So there are 3 different architects, or a few different architects. I think it's 3. Yeah, 3 different archetypes for the rogue: the thief, the assassin, and the arcane trickster. Sweet, that is. Do this here. Also gain proficiency with Disguise Kit and Poisoner's Kit. That's fun. And then also Assassinate. This is where it gets flipping stupid. Assassinate. You have advantage on attack rolls on enemies that haven't gone this combat. If the creature is surprised, it is a critical hit. So, rogue sneaks into a room where they have to assassinate somebody. Stealth around the edge, get behind the guy, stab him with the rapier or the short sword, attack with advantage because the person doesn't know that they're there. Hey, it's an assassination, so automatic critical hit, automatic sneak attack on that, rolling 3d6 times 2 plus some number. Pretty dang good. So that's it for that. We still have backgrounds to go through. Acolyte, no. Charlatan, maybe. Criminal, I mean, hired killer is an option on this. It's hard not to go with criminal. I think they also have a criminal variant as a spy. Although your capabilities are not much different of those of a burglar and a smuggler, you learned and practiced them in a very different context. As an espionage agent, you might have been an officially sanctioned agent of the crown, or perhaps sold the secrets you uncovered to the highest bidder. We're going criminal spy. It's fun. Why not? Let's see. Anything else before I forget? Criminal. We have deception and stealth. Well, we already have those two. So let's go back to the rogue and pick two more. Sleight of hand. No. Perception and performance. So these are just regular ones. We only get our normal bonus to it. So only a +2 for them and only a +3 for this. Oh shoot. It's really nice to have all of those proficiencies +2 that are just insanely good. Tool proficiencies, gaming set of one choice, and we're also proficient with cards. It doesn't matter the game really. Let's do dice. We have somebody else who is already proficient with dice. That'd be kind of funny to have them go up against each other at some point in time if they're both proficient to see who's better. Also get a crowbar. Set of don't even miss that. Dark common clothes. Hood and a belt pouch containing 15 gold pieces. Criminal contacts. You have a reliable network to whom you can send messages to. And you know corrupt people in the town who can deliver messages. See, does that still fit? Sweet, still fits. We're not going to go on to the second page at all for this. We have everything that we need from here, so we can go to our numbers. Leather armor is 11 plus dex, so a little bit squishy. 11 plus dex is 13. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. +2, so 12. 12 for that. So we have rapier. The reason I wasn't a huge fan of the short sword, oh, it is finesse, excellent, as is the rapier. Rapier, attack bonus, +4. It's based off our dexterity, because it's finesse weapon. Oh my goodness, really? Cannot tab over. So it's 1d8 +2 piercing. Ah, good gravy. Sorry about that. Short sword. +4. 1d6 +2 slashing. And so short sword and rapier, both set. Dagger. If you've watched Critical Role, you think about the rogue with the dagger. +4 to hit. Daggers, basic daggers don't do that much damage. 1d4 +2 piercing damage. Range 20 to 60 feet. You can throw your daggers, cannot throw your short sword, cannot throw your rapier. I mean, I'd probably let you do it, but it'd be at a shorter distance and won't work super well in the long run. So let's just go over what's actually in a burglar's pack, because I don't know. Burglar's pack is a backpack, a bag of 1,000 ball bearings, 10 feet of string, a bell, 5 candles, a crowbar, so we double duty on the crowbar, a hammer, 10 pitons, a hooded lantern, 2 flasks of oil, 5 days rations, a tinderbox, water skin, and 50 feet of hempen rope. That is, oh my goodness, I would love to have that in a game as a player, because there's so many fun things you could do with that. I would definitely put out all the ball bearings, see if I can get somebody to trip on them, call them with a bell, see if I can get them to fall over, then splash them with oil and light them on fire, because that's what you do, apparently. Would not be the cleanest kill. So, there we have it. Second one taken care of today. Save as a rogue criminal. I went today. You can tell that the two that I went with, the Paladin Acolyte and the Rogue Criminal, are much more playing towards a type. Druid Guild Artisan and Monk Entertainer, very much against type for those combos. Fighter Soldier, obvious type. Barbarian Urchin, workable type. Like, it's not normal, but it's not, oh my goodness, that's really, really weird. But it's almost 6 o'clock for me here. I've been streaming for about an hour. I should head out. We are having Kristen's brother over tonight to play board games of some sort. I think we're going to try Legends of Andor. A game picked up a while ago, have yet to play. So I will be back online most likely tomorrow, doing a short chunk of videos, probably trying to get a couple more taken care of. I think I want 10 total. I already have 2 people signed up for this game, so 10 total options for them. I haven't figured out how I'm going to let them choose. Am I going to leave them all laying out on the table and they can just pick and grab one? Probably. Or I'm going to hand out, if we have a lot of if everybody shows up right on time and nobody's like early, or people aren't showing up slowly early, then I might just hand out, like, here's 2, pick one, here's 2, pick one, here's 2, pick one, here's 2, pick one, just to get it going a little bit faster. Plus, then it could potentially push somebody so they're not playing towards whatever they would typically pay. Anyways, that is all for today. I have been your nerdologist, scientist, mad scientist, creating all these fun characters to play. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Peace.